And hello and welcome to the Cabros podcast. I'm David.
Good morning, Vietnam!
We are joined today by Robin Williams.
We're not in Vietnam.
If only he was right here.
I miss that man so much.
I had a joke, but I'm gonna hold it in.
Okay, now it's too late. You gotta say
Whisper it to me. I want to hear it.
I know where he's hanging.
Oh,
Oh my god.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Thanks for coming,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Look at
Thank you
that
guys
guys.
next
Thing
week.
sensor
Thanks.
bar. Yeah.
Today it's David, joined by Cyrus.
Hey, how's it hanging?
Fuck.
I think it's in bad taste to do that twice. We're gonna.
Censor that twice.
No. This is
And
great.
Oscar.
We're keeping it.
No,
Hey,
it's
how's it
the-
going, everyone?
It's the first minute. YouTube is.
Hang isn't a bad word technically.
Yeah,
David
no.
introduced himself. I am Barn
Yeah,
Door. Also
there's a doorknob
Bjorn,
there.
and also Rag and Ragged, and the only motherfucker in this goddamn group with a nickname apparently.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
Colton. How are you, Colton?
I'm alive.
Fucking vibe.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I had
Hey,
trouble with words
so-
Hey,
there.
since we're talking about
Was it
being
a
alive,
doorknob?
What? No, it was a doorway. Speaking
A
of
doorway.
doorways, it's been 5 years since Chester died.
Dude, is that why I was looking at a bunch of Linkin Park shit last night?
We felt it in your
Maybe.
bones. You felt it.
Brandon's like, all right, one more light. But no, in all seriousness, rest in peace to
Yeah,
Chester
yeah,
Bennington.
for sure.
He provided a lot of good music.
Great fucking music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tragic because he ended up, offing himself on Chris Cornell's birthday, who died 2 months earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they were really, really close buddies.
They were very close friends, and
Yeah.
it really hurt Chester when he passed because Linkin Park's album had just come out, and it wasn't getting good reviews at all. For good reason, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Definitely not one of the best
I don't
Linkin
think it was
Park
their strong-
albums. There's 2 or 3 songs on it
But
that
one
I like
more
to listen to.
Because they were gonna play Heavy, I think, on Good Morning America or something that week, and then
It's pretty heavy.
they ended up playing One More Light instead
it
because
was-
Chris Cornell had
It,
passed
it was Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy
They
Kimmel.
were on Jimmy Kimmel, and when they started the show, Chester said that they were going to start playing
Heavy.
with Heavy, but
Yeah.
in light of Chris Cornell passing, they decided to play One More Light. And it was a fucking heavy. You can find it on YouTube. It's a heavy performance to watch. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
They
Because
were
the song's heavy. This is what
Oscar,
that performance
Oscar,
is heavy.
Oscar,
Have some respect.
Oscar. Come on, man.
What?
Come on. We're
The
just
4
trying to
jokes I
hang.
made at the beginning, those were jokes. What you just
That's
said?
too far. But not what Cyrus said.
Well, because we bleeped it out, so they'll never know.
I'm leaving it in
Did
now.
we?
Oh, darn it. It got
Nope.
left in.
We'll never know. David's the one that's editing it.
I got
No.
to queue up an
I
apology
have-
video.
Oh, fuck. Unless I do it.
But
No.
Oscar's like, mine.
it was so sad because he was coming to Tahoe. I think it was a month
I was-
after he passed.
I was going to get me and Sadie tickets to go see them.
I had a friend that bought tickets and she was going to take me, but
I think I was waiting for one more paycheck and no pun intended, sorry. But
It's not me.
I didn't.
They just keep coming.
But I was waiting until the next page. It was literally that week. I was like, it's because it was like a month and a half after that, and it was like probably gonna be $150 for the tickets.
Mhm.
So I was like, fuck it, and so I was gonna buy them, and then fucking a friend called me and told me what happened. I was like, no fucking way, and I sat
Yeah.
up. Sadie was like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I'm fact checking, and I was like, God damn
me
it.
too. That girl, she texted
Like-
me. She's like, because I hadn't spoke to her in like a week because I was like, you're crazy. Stop talking to me. And she was just, Chester Bennington died. That was the entire text. And I went, oh my God, he did.
Well, gee, thanks.
Gee, thanks.
God.
I thought she was making it up to talk to me. That wasn't the case. No, Chester Bennington had actually died. And I was like, that wasn't a crutch. And I was like, that's awful.
Yeah, my friend called me, and I thought they were fucking with me at first, but I was like, it's 7:30 in the morning. You wouldn't call me at 7:30 in the morning if it wasn't something crazy like that.
And then
Yeah.
I think I caught wind of it just before that text because I looked at my phone when I saw it. Was my mom actually told me because I was at work. And she was like, the singer of Linkin Park just passed away. And, me picking favorites, I went, Mike died? Ah,
Mike Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda.
I'm glad I'm not a teenager anymore. Those were bad thoughts. It shouldn't be, I'm going to assume who died. It's going to be who? Find out more information.
Next week on Dragon Ball.
There's terrible stories from when I was 18. I think we all stupid when we were younger.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd
but-
like to leave that all behind.
But if you've ever read anything about Chris Cornell's case is pretty fucked up too. because he had just got done performing in Detroit, and somebody put together the timeline of events of when he walked off the stage to when his bodyguard found him in his hotel room. He walked off a stage at like 11:18, got back to his hotel at like 11:30, 11:35, and his bodyguard found him just after midnight,
God damn.
which means he did it minutes after the show ended. And that's
Jeez.
terrible. And I know Chester, when he passed, it was in between their European tour and in between their American leg.
Yeah, from what I read on the story, it was like they had finished one show over in Europe, and he flew back home before his family because his family was all out there,
Mhm.
and he got back home, and the next morning their like cleaning lady or one of the people in their house found him the next morning.
Mhm.
Like
That's
his family,
what I heard.
his family was still on a different continent. They were on a flight the next morning, but he got home before them, and he was alone for a few hours, and that's all it fucking took.
You know what's crazy though? I think it's his it's either his oldest son or is it his oldest daughter? I forget which one it is. People were making fun of them on TikTok because they were like, "Oh yeah, my dad won a bunch of Grammys," and everyone's like, "No, the fuck he didn't." And then he turns around and shows the giant Linkin Park Grammy bookcase, shit like that. And I was like, "Oh, cool. His kids are old enough to have TikTok accounts. That's crazy."
Yeah.
He has
couldn't believe it.
13 kids, if I'm not mistaken.
Chester? No, he does not.
Chester Bennington had 13
We
kids.
got-
What?
Fact
Google
check
it.
this.
Google it.
Was he in a polygamy?
know.
What is up?
Someone,
I'm on-
no, I don't think it was a polygamy, but he had multiple wives. He
Okay.
married many times, and I think he had 13 children between all of his wives.
Okay, I have to know the number of
Colin
kids.
Cap.
Chester Bennington had.
Do
Colin Cap.
a Google check because I could be wrong, but if I
Okay.
remember correctly, he had 13 kids.
Yeah.
Damn.
Calling Cap.
So, what's you guys' favorite Soundgarden / Audio Slave song? For
It
Chris
might be.
Cornell?
It might be less than that. What is it?
Yes, 6.
6. Okay. Still, 6 kids is a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
6. I think he was married 3 times. That sounds more right. I don't know where 13 kids.
Maybe it wasn't his
old.
oldest
Yeah, I
kid.
was
then.
like, what the fuck?
Maybe it was one of his kids, but yeah, I forget what the name of his kid was, but it was his name, Bennington. That was their name on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, no way. And then he showed the Grammy case, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
What's up?
What?
I was looking at like the other people others also searched for, like the other people look like in
Mhm.
comparison with Chester
Yeah.
Bennington. And Colton made fun of Mike Shinoda's name earlier. I didn't
No, I
know.
didn't.
No, you like the way you saying it, like you saying his name, right?
Mike
I said
Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know
That's how
that.
you see it.
I didn't realize that's his actual last
Oscar,
name.
you heard it in your head as Mike Sharona.
No, I heard Mike Shinoda. I didn't know his last name.
Mike
was actually
Shinoda.
It's Shinoda. Yeah.
I did not
he's
know
the
that.
Baptist.
He wasn't making a joke. It's Shinoda. You know Fort Minor, the 10% luck.
Shut the fuck up. Are you
That's
serious?
Mike
That's Mike
Shinoda.
Shinoda.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Shinoda.
yeah. That's the
You're acting
rapper.
like M. Shinoda,
That's
bro.
the rapper in
Yeah.
Turntable Dude of Linkin Park.
I'm
Yeah.
having a fucking brain blast right now,
Yeah,
man.
Fort Minor guy that did the 10%
Yeah.
luck song. That's the
That's
guy
Shinoda.
that said it starts with one thing. I don't know
What
what.
the
Same guy.
Fuck.
Same guy.
Smooth.
I did not know that. That's insane.
Fort Minor. You
Fort
just
Minor is
brought up
awesome.
So many
Insane.
memories.
Fort Minor is fucking awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
they're
That side
great.
project he had,
Yeah.
it's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite Audio Slave song is also "Show Me How to Live."
Yeah. I was gonna go
Sorry.
back to that.
I just saw it. It's,
Uh,
No, it's all good.
fuck. I can't.
Chris
see that.
Cornell's solo band though, when he went solo for a little bit, he made I can't even remember. I gotta look again, but
He
he,
was
made a song.
Soundgarden, right?
Yes.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, okay.
Nearly forgot my broken
Boom,
heart.
man.
Spoon Man.
Yeah. Nearly forgot my broken heart.
Is that
And then-
Make you break your heart.
It's a good
Don't
song.
tell my heart.
It's the same fucking style as like Audio Slave and that other one.
Okay.
Black Days.
Black Days.
Yeah, because I remember Chris Cornell had a posthumous album, I think the year after he passed, and they had that album play like crazy. And
Yeah.
it was a good record. And then Chester Bennington, he had a song with, I can't remember who it was, but it was that song Cross Out. And they
Oh,
played
yeah.
it on 104.5 for like 3 months straight, and then it dropped off. Like they just stopped playing it.
Right.
But it was a very good song, and it was apparently his last feature before he passed.
Hmm.
And they held on to it for a while because they didn't want to release it just after he passed. Because it sucks when you do something like that because it feels very disingenuous to the artist when you're like,
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna release this because we can. It's not like it was planned.
What's it gonna do? Stop me?
Well, XXX's
What's he gonna do? Dig it up?
Mr. Tentacion himself, he was his posthumous releases are very critically panned because he was gunned down that summer. What was it? It was 2018
Yeah.
And then later that year, they announced that he had some unreleased material that he wanted to put together in an album. So they decided to launch it. It was called Skins, and it was like 17 minutes long.
Huh.
And it was, you could tell he had the ideas going, but obviously he wasn't able to finish them. And they didn't really produce a lot of the tracks after he had passed. So they just kind of let the album run itself. And they went, there you go. It's his posthumous album. You know,
This is what we
Long
got.
Live X is what they used to say.
Yeah.
And then the next year, they released an album called Bad Vibes Forever. And it was like 54 minutes long. And
Damn.
everyone's like, that clearly wasn't anything that he was working on. If the last album that was 17 minutes long was supposed to be unreleased material that he was working on,
Mhm.
it was people panned it not because the music was bad, but because it felt like they just slapped his name on it
Just to get
just to sell it.
yeah, just to let everyone like look
Because
see,
it-
he lives on.
There was a lot of features on it, which was very unfortunate because it's like it felt like a group project more than
Yeah.
it felt like an X record. And I remember just after X had died, it was like 3 months after Lil Wayne's album finally came out, and it had X.
The
on
Hard
it.
Part 5.
Yeah, and everyone accused Lil Wayne of using X for, to help sell his album because he's on the second song on the album, which is the first real song that kicks it off. And it's like, that's so disingenuous. They probably worked together long before he had passed.
Right.
Lil Wayne's The Carter 5 was in production for like 5 or 6 years before it came out because he was in a fight with his record label about how he wanted the record to come out. That song Mona Lisa, like if you've heard that song that has Kendrick feature on it, that I guess they
Mona Lisa.
recorded that like 4 years before the album came out. It was an old song.
Wow.
And the same thing happened with Eminem. He dropped Murder to Be Music By. Yeah. He dropped Murder to Be Music By a month after.
You said it again.
I'm doing it intentionally. now.
Okay, just making sure.
After Juice WRLD had passed away, and everyone was like, "Oh
He did a
man."
song with him on that.
Yeah, everyone Godzilla, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, you're writing his death, and you're using his name to sell records." And it's like,
Fuck
no, he got him as a feature long before he passed. It was
Yeah.
just unfortunate timing.
Real unfortunate timing.
It wasn't like he was
Drop
like,
nuts.
it wasn't
Oh.
like Juice WRLD had just passed away, and the next day M's like, "Hey, we got a song, go buy it."
Yeah, he waited a while. It was a while.
It was a month after. I
Yeah.
think they were still working on the album, and it was probably one of those hard things where it's like, God, we got a posthumous release by this man.
You said colostomus.
Thank you.
Sounds like colostomy.
I said posthumous.
That sounds like colostomy.
I don't know, but that happens a lot in music where they release posthumous albums. Like
Right.
Biggie, after he died, it was Life After Death,
Mm-hmm.
because his big album Ready to Die came out, then he died, and then
Well,
Life
I mean,
After Death came out,
he
and they were
kinda-
two crazy albums.
Kind of hinted at it already with the album.
Conspiracy? Like
Yeah, his-
Obama said, where is Biggie and
Tupac
Tupac?
and Biggie's
Yeah.
lyrics
He was
were
a
basically
CIA
I'm
project.
gonna die. They were like, I'm gonna die, and my music is the only thing that's gonna carry me on.
Yeah, they're in
And
Argentina.
South Park.
Mm-hmm.
They're-
Other rappers do the same things, but it sometimes doesn't happen.
Everybody will live on in South Park.
You get famous enough, yep.
Kanye is a gay fish.
Motherfucking gay fish.
Always will be.
He loves those fish dicks.
I watch a lot of Dead End Hip Hop, and they're a wonderful YouTube channel that discusses hip hop music. Like, they're very about the culture and they listen to literally everything. And they have a hot take. I was watching through YouTube Shorts, and they have a hot take where he was talking. He's like, the best thing that happened to, he's like, and he didn't mean this with any disrespect. He's like, the best thing that happened to Tupac and Biggie's legacy is they died. Because if Eminem would have overdosed in 2007, we'd be hailing him as a great rapper. And they said the worst thing that happened to Eminem's legacy is that he lived. Because, we only remember, J. Cole says that a lot. He's like, we only remember people after they're gone.
Yeah, look at X.
Look at X. People goated X.
Pink-
Nobody,
yeah,
people
prime example.
listened to him when he was alive, but when he died, he just became goat status like overnight.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
still hold him in that high regard, even though he has like 2 years of music under his belt.
He's alright. His songs are
Yeah.
good. Don't get me wrong.
You could tell he was getting better.
Yeah. He was just
Yeah.
needed time to improve.
The album Question Mark, I believe, is really good because
Moonlight
it was like
is my favorite song on there.
the production on Moonlight is
Mhm.
insane. The first time I heard that song, I
Nuts.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was like, this is X? Wait, hold on.
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard Moonlight by XXXTentacion, it's like 2 minutes long. It's crazy. And the music video came out after he passed away, and it's just him walking through like a campfire
With a jean jacket on.
with the jean jacket on and nobody's looking at him. It was like weird how much he prophesized his death. Because he had 2 music videos that came out after he died. There was a music video for Sad, and it was him in a casket killing his older self. And they put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, and they were like, rest in peace, X. He filmed this before he passed away. He wanted the world to see this. And it was a video of him laying in a casket and shit like that.
Hmm.
And the Moonlight comes out, and it's like him walking through, and all these people are partying and shit like that, but nobody's really paying him attention. And everyone's like, I guess the main theory is like, did he know he was gonna pass away? Because it felt like nobody was paying attention to him. It was like him coming back down and seeing how everybody was still smiling and being happy and shit like that. I don't know. It's weird.
Fucking X, man.
So if you become a rapper, don't fantasize about your death because it becomes ironic when it happens. Like Mac Miller
Yeah.
on
Circles.
what's
No.
the name of the song? Good Brand Name.
Yep.
On the song Brand Name, he says to my drug dealer, don't mix it with that bullshit. He doesn't want to join the 27 club.
Yep.
Mac Miller died at 26.
Gosh damn.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And he died from an overdose and his
Why
dealer
did-
got sentenced to I think like 20 years or something
Yeah.
crazy because it was fentanyl laced.
God, I remember going through like the text they released after that investigation with the drug dealer,
Yeah, it's pretty
Slash-
shady.
fucking traitor of
Mhm.
women. That was wild. Yeah.
It was
LA's
some crazy
fucking
shit.
wild.
How does it like? Why does music always end up like entwining and shit like that?
Because it's what
Where the
they're
money's at.
surrounded.
Record-
Well, it's the fame. You know, if you can do this and just waste your money on this, then you've made it.
Little
almost.
Xan actually came out recently because he's distancing himself from the Little Xan name. I forget what his name is. Like that's how bad
My name's Henry.
his career was because I don't remember what his real name was.
Right.
But he came out and he basically disavowed his entire music career as Little Xan because he was like, it was pretty much just my manager forcing me to be a person that I wasn't because it was selling.
Yeah.
And it was that type of
Yeah.
person that he was selling well at the time. But after 2018, nobody gave a shit about Little Xan.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
Little Pump. Little Pump dropped his first album at the beginning of 2019. Nobody can tell you the name of it. It's called Harvard Dropout. Nobody bought it. It flopped. And Little Pump hasn't done shit since. And that was because he rode a wave, just like J. Cole told him. He said, you're going to ride a wave. And if you don't find who you are and make the music you want to make, the people that really love you, they're not going to come anymore. And they're not going to buy your music. And you will stop getting support. And you will never get back to where you were.
Wow.
Flash forward now.
Flash forward now, that's what happened. I forget who it is. Was
Wow.
it Boogie with it wasn't Boogie with a Hoodie, was it? There was a rapper, he played a show in somewhere and he only had 7 people in the crowd. And he was one of those SoundCloud rappers that was big in 2018
Yeah.
with Lil Pump and Lil Xan and everything. And now it's 2022 and nobody cares about them that much anymore.
Because they just want the money.
Look, if I was one of his 7 fans, those are your fans. Like, because
Yeah.
they know your words. They showed up. They were like, hey, he's coming to town. Let's
Yeah,
go."
I gotta fucking go.
Smoke Perp, that was who it was.
Smoke perp.
It was Smoke Perp. But Lil Xan basically said
These
that his
names, man. I
his
swear to
manager
God.
was forcing him to make music that he didn't want to make because it was selling well, and he was actually just giving him drugs all the time because he wanted him to be one of those, everybody knows that rappers do drugs and it's very obvious.
Mhm.
And they wanted Lil Xan to fit that form, so they were like, oh, if we keep you on drugs and you make the music that we want you to make, you're kind of in our control and we can get you to do what we want to because we're supplying you with the drugs.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
giving you the money and we're giving you the fame.
Yep.
So they put them in this perpetual cycle of if we stop giving them one, you stop getting all of it. So he's like, I can't stop doing the drugs because one, I'm hooked on the drugs now and he just keeps giving me drugs. But if I stop
Jesus.
doing the drugs, they're going to pull my contract and I'm going to lose the money.
This is just a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. That's why a lot of them are like, don't sell your soul away just to get that temporary 1-year contract and make it big for a little bit. T-Pain, he's a Twitch streamer now.
Yep.
And he talks about all the millions and millions he made in 2007, 2008, how he blew all that money, and people didn't really listen to him after that.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
doing better for himself. He's
Yeah.
getting featured in newer albums, and he's
like invested in some like companies.
he's investing in
Yeah.
companies, and he's having fun as a Twitch streamer. But he's like,
Yeah.
but I always knew I could sing, and people criticized me for using autotune, and I didn't have a problem with that because I knew I could sing and I was using it artistically. But he's like, but I made music that died very quickly, and people only cared about T-Pain as a feature. They didn't really care about him as a person.
right,
Right.
because he was just an icon at that time.
Hype man.
Mhm.
More of
Exactly,
like
he's
a
more hype man.
But the way that his career is kind of 180 is kind of neat to watch.
Yeah, man,
Right.
he's doing
Yeah.
great for himself. Like he's doing great.
He's doing great. Yeah,
He's
he's
fucking
doing awesome.
T-Pain, man. He comes to Reno every now and then.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
For
So they-
what?
Just to be at the Lux nightclub. Literally.
Fair enough.
He just sings his songs and dips.
Bartender. I like T-Pain. He makes good music.
T-Pain's good.
He was on a Denzel Curry's album this year too.
Yeah.
Tylenol pain relief is
Tylenol
pretty
pain.
nice.
Benadryl Cucumber Patch was a feature.
Benadryl cucumber patch.
What was Cardi B? It was like Bacardi, something like that. Oh, fuck, I forgot what hers was.
It's like some sort of rum. or something.
No, somebody elongated her name, like Elon Musk. I'd like to call him elongated muskrat.
Okay.
So yeah, if you ever want to become an artist, be true to yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
On that next subject, did you guys watch Dave Chappelle's new special on Netflix?
No.
No, I mean I know that there's like protesters outside his latest show.
Mm-hmm. He did a performance at the Duke Ellington School of Arts, which is where he went and learned to become an actor so that he could become a better comedian. And he's like talking about his story and stuff like that. And the special was basically him talking about where he came from, his time at the school, because they wanted to name the theater after him.
Whoa.
So he was like, he's like, they want to name the theater after me. Then he went into his life, how he came to be at the school, and then talked about his last special, The Closer.
Yeah.
Very controversial.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you remember. I remember watching it, and I thought it was good, but sometimes it was just like, why are you talking about this for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
And then he explained at the end of this new special, he's basically like, you need to separate the art from the reality of this. I can't remember the exact quote of it, but he's like, you need to look at the art of what I was saying. He's like, in 20 years, you guys are going to, he's like, still believe The Closer is my best work. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in 10 years.
Yeah.
We'll come back and listen and see what he said. Because I haven't rewatched it since my first watch. And my first watch was, that wasn't.
Yeah.
I love Sticks and Stones. I think Sticks and Stones was excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically said he's like, at this school was basically pretty much how I learned to separate the art, because you need to put art into it and you need to appreciate the art that somebody puts into something. He's like, because if you can't separate that, then you're just going to get lost in,
The sauce.
Yeah, because he talks about like, mob mentality and how if one person really doesn't like anything, other people are tend to join, and how one of his professors taught him that. Like he would get people into groupthink. And then basically like the professor would like smash them all back down to reality and go, you can't do that. He's like, don't ever get caught in that trance. And Dave's like, that's kind of where I'm at with my life. He's like, I don't want to get caught in the group thought. And he talks about the Chappelle show.
Chappelle show.
Yeah.
That first season of the Chappelle show is still the highest selling TV series DVD ever.
Really?
Fucking hilarious, man.
Nobody's sold more copies than he has. And it's because the Chappelle show is fucking hilarious. But MTV wanted to give him like $50 million to $100 million to make like 8 more seasons of the show. They just wanted to milk everything that Dave Chappelle was about. And then, like he said, he was like, I looked at it and I had to decline because he knew that he would be under their control.
Yeah.
He would have to do everything that MTV would tell him to for all this money. And then he was like, no. And he's like, it was easy because I ran away to Africa, but people were mad at me, especially his family, because they were like, you turned down how much money?
Right.
100 mil.
And imagine the pressure that comes onto you as an artist when you turn down that much money and your friends and family are like, what the fuck, dude? You turned down how much money? You're so stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And here he is 15 years later
Millionaire.
doing about as well as if he had done the Chappelle show. He probably
Right.
doesn't have as much money, but everyone holds him in a higher regard as a result, because he's like, never sell yourself short
Yeah.
if you don't have to, because you know you're going to lose that piece
He's
of you that
protected,
wants to make the art.
He's protected his like comic image pretty much, right?
Mhm.
Just like not sticking to one thing over and over.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes him a better artist as a result, because he really cared about his work, where he was like, he came in, made the Chappelle show, got famous, and he was like, I'm doing what I want to do, but I recognize if I sign that contract, it's going to be over. I won't
Yeah.
have the freedoms that I do at the
Won't
moment.
have the power no more.
He focused on his
Oh,
comedic.
man.
Go ahead.
People hit on Tom McDonald all the time too, and he's completely self-made.
Yeah.
I mean, he's completely labelless. It's literally him and his girlfriend producing all of his music.
Wait, who? Atomic Dominic?
Oh,
Tom McDonald.
Mhm.
Tom McDonald. I thought you said Atomic Dominic. It's like, huh?
Yeah, I haven't
Right.
listened to much of him.
He's got very political-based music.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Political-
why I could
yeah.
probably care less.
The problem with Tom McDonald, and I'm not going to say it's some of his takes are just kind of weird. Like, it's shit that nobody's really thinking, but he's like, oh no, clearly. Like, you know how there's some white people that think that America's against them because
Yeah.
they're white?
Yeah.
No.
What are you talking about?
That's all I'm gonna say is no. Tom McDonald's kind of stuck in that mindset, and I think he can make some really dope politically charged songs because he's got the music and he's got the flow.
He does.
He
Yeah.
needs to attack his messages and his lyrics better, and I
Right.
think people would start listening to him because right now it's coming off of "I'm white, feel bad for me,"
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
kind
The
of, that's
funny thing
kind
is he's actually Canadian.
isn't that even funnier? Like people think that he's just some fucking American Homer.
He's a Canadian?
Yes,
Yeah, he moved to America when he was like 16.
I'm gonna fact check this so that we're not wrong, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've read that he is Canadian.
I know he's Canadian. I've looked that up.
Okay.
Okay. So we can confirm that. Yeah, I mean, It's I don't know.
He's
I
the.
try not to.
Here's what I like to think of him as. He's the White Hobson.
The White Hops.
He has.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
wonderful music if he really wanted to, but
Yeah.
he doesn't.
Right.
He really.
Calling,
doesn't.
we're talking to you, Hobson. Get
Yeah,
your shit together.
Hobson and Tom McDonald are in the same category for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was born in Vancouver.
Yeah.
His
That's
composition. Okay, I looked them up on Bing and it says compositions fake woke. Is a song by Canadian rapper Tom McDonald that was solely written and produced by himself and self-released as a single on
Anchor.
the 29th of January 2021.
All by himself, huh?
Yep.
Just him.
He's released a lot more music than that.
He has, but that's what Bing has tied him as.
Wow.
It's just the first thing that pops up when you Bing his name.
Bing.
Yeah.
Bing,
You say Bing?
Bing bong.
bing bong.
Yeah, he said Bing, not Google.
You use Bing?
Because he gets points on his Xbox for it.
Oh.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I get rewards points.
Just by searching?
Yep.
Yep.
You should use Bing.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Damn, okay.
You know how you get
It's a
reward points?
terrible search engine, but you get Microsoft rewards
I
points.
have over $16 in Xbox cards right now.
To be fair, you could just open Bing and then Bing Google and then use Google through Bing to look what you're looking for.
No, it has to be independent searches
Through Bing.
through Bing.
Can I just sit there and fuck? Is there a limit to how many things you can search a day for points?
No, so you just do A, B, C, D, E, F.
Why is the sky blue? Why isn't the sky blue? Why isn't the sky yellow?
What are
Can the
ants?
sky be yellow? Why don't ants eat marshmallows? Do ants enjoy s'mores?
Was Tom
Dude,
McDonald
I
on
have
that
a
farm?
million questions I could ask.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Why does my hair grow?
E-I-E-I-O.
Why do my
Bingo.
balls itch?
Tom McDonald had a farm.
Yeah.
E-I-E-I-O.
Where's old McDonald's farm? Is it within
We've
4 meters
derailed.
from my artillery?
That's okay. You
Is
guys
old
are still
McDonald a
entertained.
threat?
Hey, as long as you guys still are entertained and still here,
I'm
check out
Intained?
our link tree down below.
Say
We have a
entertained?
wonderful SoundCloud full of Cyrus.
He said intained.
He definitely said entained.
Well,
Entertained?
they are entainted.
Entertained.
Oh.
Enter the taint.
Check out our Patreon too.
It's up there.
Check out our pythons.
Dude, you guys want to get a Python?
Is
No.
that where you post
All
pictures
houses.
No,
of your
I've got
dick?
2 already.
Boom.
Two,
Boom.
not where you post pictures of your dick.
I did
What?
computer science.
Wait, what the
Python
fuck
is
did I
fun.
miss?
I don't know. Someone said you want to make
Python
a
is an awful programming
Yeah,
language.
it's not
Oh.
great.
So it's not where you post your dicks.
Okay,
Only Pythons.
we've come to an agreement, right?
Yeah. Don't you
No
don't,
dicks with Pythons.
don't get a big python.
What do you think
It'll
Tom
squeeze your
McDonald's
dick
Python
off.
looks like?
The goat. The bat.
The cat and the gat.
Why, I'm the cat with the gat, so you better shut your fucking trap.
Thank you.
I'm gonna add
Alright.
Joyner Lucas to Tom McDonald territory.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Thick Yoshi?
Yeah.
He's in there as well.
Yeah,
Rick Yoshi with 1 or 2 C's.
2 C's.
because all Joyner raps about is women, or how he treats them bad, or how they treat him bad.
He's oppressed because he doesn't get women.
Sorry, Yoshi.
Damn. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that fucker commits tax fraud.
Is he a simp?
Thick Yoshi?
Thank
It's
you.
Yoshi. Yoshi commits tax fraud. You guys didn't know that?
I can't
Hey,
do the voice
listeners,
for
go to
shit.
our
Activator.
Twitter and Photoshop.
You have to be a living. You have to be human to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Teresa's, we appreciate
But
you.
he
by the way.
signed his W-2.
Shout out to that guy.
Pay
I
his
want
taxes.
someone to Photoshop Tom McDonald's hair on Yoshi and put it on our Twitter because I would like to use that as a profile picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has
I'll
no
work
one
on
else
that.
seen that meme?
Which one?
Where Yoshi's a tax evader.
Yes.
Okay, just making
course.
sure.
Oh wait. Did you see Teresa's comment towards you, Brandon?
Who's
Ooh,
comment to me?
He's one of our current
Choritas.
viewers.
Hey, shout out to Charitas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa's.
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 It's been about like
Oh,
what,
your
12
friend
episodes
Oscar?
Yeah.
since we gave them a shout out. So,
Holy Zeus.
Get another one.
I always thought it was Chorizis.
He was real excited about when Colton came down at the episode as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
we
was a
finally
fun
got him in person.
episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, barn door for Nevada governor. I agree.
Barn door.
Let's go barn door.
Let's
fuck
go
did I
barn door.
say?
No, let's
it was
go
the
barn
let's
door.
go barn door.
Oh, let's go barn door.
Yeah, we're starting to let's go barn door.
That's right.
We got to keep that going.
Yeah.
Let's go
Do you
barn.
want me to make some signs and go put them out on pyramid?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll help.
Get some let's go barn door magnets.
Let's
gonna-
go barn door.
I'm gonna create.
For the fucking Reno governor.
Okay.
It's a fucking movement.
If you're discovering
QR
this
code.
podcast because of my signs, welcome.
Yeah.
But
Let's go, Brandon.
here's
First of all.
here's what I'm gonna do with the signs, and hopefully, if you're listening to this because of the signs, I've fulfilled my pledge. We're gonna create a website. Let's go barndoor.weebly.com because it's
Okay.
free to make.
Jesus
a Weebly,
Christ.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I make a big ass sign that we put out on Pyramid that says "Let's go barn door" with the website under it.
Yeah,
Okay.
3. We had
$50 for a billboard.
yeah, that's true. Do we put Brandon's face on it, or do we just put a straight up barn door on it?
Put Brandon's
What
face.
about my face?
No.
But you like spread it so it's all square and then make it red. It's like I'd make a face like that and it's open and you
His
Photoshop it
face,
on the
please.
barn.
His face, but it's
Maybe
still
I'm the
yet
monster in the
like
scary
barn
movie.
doors.
I'm the barn in the movie.
Oh my God.
It's a movie
They,
advertisement
they
at
run
the same
from
time.
the
So
monster.
we're gonna start the Let's Go Barn Door political platform, and it's just gonna be
A huge advertisement
just
for our
to
movie.
support our movie. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna link to our Patreon.
Oh my god, that's
And
fucking brilliant.
simultaneously, he might get a whole bunch of write-ins on the ballot and then end up being the governor of
Dude.
Reno.
There's
huge-
no
Fuck.
write-ins in Nevada.
Yeah, there's
No.
yeah.
Oh, what?
There's
No.
no write-ins in
Oh.
the state.
There is for not for governors and stuff like that, for like
Not for statewide elections.
for like mayors and stuff and like lower things like that. There are write-in ballots, but facial stuff like Senate
Facials?
representatives. Yeah,
No,
facial
there was
stuff.
no president write-in. You couldn't write in Kanye
Yeah,
West
exactly.
in Nevada, which
Oh.
darn it.
Sure we can.
Don't vote for Kanye.
Why not?
Just
Yeah,
add
because
another
it's on-
bubble
it's on the
below it
touchscreen
and bubble it in and then write the name.
I
don't-
rethought that
Yeah,
question.
we don't need a bunch of mental ill presidents in a row.
Yeah.
At this point, we're
Oh,
just gonna
my.
get I don't know who's a famous mentally ill person.
George Washington's probably gonna
George
crawl out
Washington
of-
is my favorite mentally ill person.
No, I said I mean he was gonna
He-
crawl out of his grave without a brain.
Assumed presidency.
No, he's gonna crawl out of his grave and people will go, "Oh, he's back to lead us," and people are gonna parade around a corpse just going like,
Yep.
head falling off, and then just like he
Oh.
says, "Nuke Iran."
Fucking Gacy.
What about Gacy?
Him
John
for
Wayne?
president. No, Gacy. What's his
Gacy?
name? No.
The murderer?
No, I'm sorry.
John Wayne Gacy?
No, the guy that got in the motorcycle accident and he's all
John Wayne
like
Gacy?
crazy now. You guys know what I'm talking about. He was an actor that got in
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah,
Oh.
that guy.
Gary Busey's crazy because he did a bunch of drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? I thought it was. I'm
No,
sorry.
He's just insane.
No,
I was
it's
misinformed.
all drugs.
I was about
Okay.
to say, let's not use Gacy on any promotional platform.
Okay. Busey for president.
Busey for president.
Yeah. We can have that
Nice
guy roll.
Busey.
with
The
Busey.
Busey.
Christopher Walken for president.
I would vote for Christopher
Let's vote
Walken
in
for
a fucking
president.
heartbeat.
Do you guys remember when fucking Harrison Ford crashed a plane on a golf course?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking
Years
about
ago?
this the
Yes.
other day, bro.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking about this the other
All,
day.
all this talk of old actors made me think of that because if you didn't know, Harrison Ford is a pilot. He's like a licensed pilot, and he was flying
So
around.
is Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he was flying around in his plane one day. It's just like a little one-engine thing, two-person fucker, and the engine fucking failed, and he had to do an emergency landing on a golf course, and it fucking he had to go to the
He
hospital.
walked it off though.
He was a fucking beast, yeah.
Yeah.
But fucking just wild.
He
that-
broke things.
he had to go to the hospital, and because he had a couple not life-threatening injuries, but the fact that he's like, damn it, could you imagine the moment he's just sitting there up in this plane like, wow, this is beautiful. Son of a fuck, god damn it,
Carrie, pass me the
Do
lemonade.
you think they went through his mind that he had a whole scene in Indiana Jones 3? It's like,
Yeah.
I know how to fly it, not know how to land it. And then he was like, fuck. Maybe it was that scene that made him get his pilot's license. He was
Yeah.
like,
They
fuck,
just
I
thought-
didn't know how to land one of these bitches.
Yeah, they just saw it like figured it out.
Approved.
Oh, you're indie? Cool.
Cool.
It's Indiana Jones. Where's your license? Just get him his copy of his license.
What are you guys doing?
Do you think he's got a driver's license that says Indiana Jones on it? Or Han Solo?
I hope so.
I remember I had when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, I got like it was like kind of a special edition version of it that had all the bonus features and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it had a little picture book through it with a bunch of pictures through the set and stuff. And apparently he gave Harrison Ford gave Shia LaBeouf his
Shia
hat,
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
the indie hat.
The boofster.
Shia LaBeouf.
After because there's a picture at the end of it
Shia LaBeouf.
in the inside of the lining of Indy's hat. It
We
just
got it,
says like
Colton.
it's all yours or something,
Uh-huh.
and that's all it said, and like signed Indy, and it's Shia LaBeouf holding it. So it's like, oh fuck,
Hell yeah.
he has Indiana Jones hat. Like he is Harrison Ford is Shia LaBeouf's dad, and I'm gonna believe
Is that what the next Indiana Jones movie is gonna be? Is Shia LaBeouf?
What do you remember that in
Shia LaBeouf.
in Indiana Jones 4? Shia LaBeouf was Indy's long lost son
Yeah.
with his love from the first movie.
The first movie one.
Exactly, yeah. Which honestly, if they make an Indiana Jones 5 and it's Shia LaBeouf
I'd watch
raiding
it.
a temple, fuck the yeah, I'd
I'll
watch
go watch
that.
it.
Fuck the hell yeah, I'd
Yeah.
watch that, dude. I love Indiana Jones.
Yeah, man.
I don't even the fourth one. The fourth one's fucking terrible.
It's
Like-
it's
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. It's just more Indiana Jones, you know?
Exactly. But when I was a kid, I'd watch the 3 Indiana Jones over and over and over, and then I was like, I just Googled Indiana Jones one day, and they put up a countdown
Yeah.
website that was like this many months, like 1 year, this many months and days until Kingdom of the Crystal Skull went out, and I was like, Dad, they're making a new Indiana Jones movie, and he was like, no, they're not, and I was like, come look at this, I found a website, and he went and he was like, oh wow, they're making a new Indiana Jones, and then when he saw that, and then the day it came out, we had like premiere when it came out in
Yeah,
Reno, like the premiere for Reno.
Hell yeah.
We're out of the towns how it would be. We saw it day one. It was fucking awesome,
Hell yeah,
dude.
man.
What's the name of the second one? I'm sitting here trying to
Temple of
spell
Doom.
it.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of
Fun
Doom.
fact: in Temple of Doom, the club that he jumps out of is called Club Obi-Wan, because they're all directed by
yeah,
George Lucas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Indiana Jones, the first one wasn't called Indiana Jones. It was just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was kind of like how Star Wars was originally just Star Wars,
Mm.
and then they made more of them and they changed the names. George Lucas tends to do that, I guess, when he makes good movies.
Okay.
Because the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then they made Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and when they did that, they re-released Indiana Jones as Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones. It's just a catchy name.
Raiders of the Lost. If they just kept it as Raiders of the Lost Ark, that would have been a fucking
Cool one,
great
too.
cult classic.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Raiders.
Let's go Raiders.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Let's go Raiders.
Indiana Jones touchdown Raiders.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's such a great movie, though.
Mhm.
Such a great film.
Yeah.
What's an older film that y'all like? That is something that not older like necessarily has to be oldish
Uh-huh.
to the black and white era, but like something that was before when you were born.
The Warriors.
What's
Come
that
out
one?
to play.
You've never seen the Warriors?
You start. Okay, you start, Cyrus. What's the Warriors?
Okay, so I'm named after that movie.
to play.
So the movie's about a bunch of street gangs and fuck, I forget the name, the city in the
New York,
movie.
right?
It's New York, is
I
it?
believe it's New York.
Okay, I always
Yeah, it's
forget-
New York.
It's New York. Okay, basically there's a bunch of gangs and the Warriors are one of the gangs. They all unite under King Cyrus.
Aha.
Yeah, I've seen that movie a lot as a kid. It's absolutely wonderful. It's just their interactions with, the city and the gangs around them and shit like that.
They
for
get
sure.
framed for a murder,
Correct. That's the plot of the movie.
and then it's basically them running home the whole time over the course of a night, and then I don't. Well,
Don't spoil it.
I mean, it's an old movie, so I probably
I
could
won't
spoil
I
it,
won't
but I'm
spoil
not
it for
going
these
to.
three. Yeah.
Just watch it. It's a good flick. It's a good cult classic.
Warriors, come out and play.
We should watch it and then we will review it
Movie
together.
review.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
Cobra.
lot
it's a
of
good movie.
very big actors when they were very young and very early on in their careers.
I'll
For
pull up
sure.
an actor list.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
yeah, you next, Oscar. What's your?
I mean, it's kind of dumb. It's not dumb, but it's like Empire Strikes Back. Star
We'll
Wars
say
Empire Strikes Back.
yeah. Still, if it's not your
Yeah.
favorite, but one that like left a mark on you, like kinda.
Definitely like the Empire Strikes Back for Star
Fair
Wars.
enough.
Because like, dude, like I grew up. First, the movies I saw like of Star Wars was the prequels. I had them on VHS, but then I found out like the older ones, and then when Empire Strikes Back had like everything in one movie. Like the first one was great, but it just set up for that part, and then to lead into the last movie, and that like the whole fucking meteor asteroid belt chase.
I think there's a
everything.
lot of people too that say Empire is their favorite. Star
Yeah,
Wars
it's
movies,
awesome.
like old school Star Wars fans.
I
That's
saw
not-
Empire Strikes Back in an IMAX
Wow.
in like '91.
Damn.
Back in now. Yeah, that's pretty much one like major movie, like old movie that before it came out.
For sure. What about you, David?
I'd gotta say, well, it's either The Little Rascals or The Goonies.
Nice.
Mm.
I know the Goonies. I've heard of the Little Rascals, but I've never seen it. But
It's pretty good.
I love the Goonies.
It's really funny. It's really nice. It's a wholesome movie.
Yeah.
I want to say a controversial opinion about the Goonies.
Say it.
It's not that good. It's all right. I don't
That's
think
all right.
it lives up
The
to the hype.
Goonies?
I don't think it lives up to the
Well,
hype.
it
I
probably
understand that because I saw it for the first time, like watching it in middle school or high school as like a class movie,
yeah.
and everyone was like, "Oh, you haven't seen the Goonies? It's so good." And I was watching, it's like, there was a couple
nostalgia.
funny parts. It
Yeah.
was pretty good, but I was like,
So
Nostalgia.
fair enough.
It's a nostalgia
that's true.
movie.
that's just
Yeah.
like how I say with old video games. I can't enjoy them how my friends do if it's an older one because I didn't play it as a kid. If I don't
Right.
have nostalgia in a game, I'll play it because the game's fun, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. Like I'm gonna sit fucking hours on this.
Yeah.
I think Little Rascals absolutely falls into that too.
Mhm.
It's a nostalgia type movie. If
Like-
you didn't
Yeah.
watch it on a VHS
Ugh.
as a little kid,
Fuck yeah.
then you
You-
probably don't care.
You ready for Cyrus to say something stupid?
Huh.
Let me hear it.
I don't care about the Lion King because I didn't watch it
Wow.
until
Wow.
Fuck Simba.
I didn't watch it till I was 18.
Yeah, Colton's
That's-
mad about
Wow,
that
okay.
claim. I heard him sigh.
Yeah, I know he did. So people talk about the Lion King, and I'm just like, I didn't watch it as a kid. I was watching.
Colton's just taking
I was watching Lilo and
just hear
Stitch,
Colton's
boy.
breath.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good one. The opening title sequence,
Lilo
bro.
and Stitch,
Nemo?
Atlantis.
Did you guys know that
Nemo,
in Lilo and Stitch, that
Treasure
scene,
Planet?
just in that
Yeah.
scene, just because you sparked a memory with that,
Yeah.
when they're flying in that spaceship through Honolulu, whatever it is,
Uh.
and they're in the spaceship weaving between the buildings, originally they were in a 747, but that movie came out in 2001,
Yes.
just
Oh
after
my
9/11.
God.
And so they edited it out to be a spaceship instead of a 747 flying through a city.
Yep.
Wow.
If you didn't know that about Lilo and
I
Stitch,
did
but that
not.
is
I did
100% a fact.
That's
that whole
crazy.
scene was originally they hijacked a 747,
Jesus Christ.
just like on 9/11.
They predicted 9/11.
They had to fucking edit it out.
Oh my god.
This conspiracy theorist.
Dude,
and how
Lilo's
Disney
a
talks.
terrorist?
Oh man, Lilo the terrorist.
Oh,
She
yeah.
thought an alien was a dog. How susceptible was she to crash into a building because she was told to?
He was programmed.
Colton.
Finding Nemo was fucked up for me recently. Someone like totally twisted my brain about Finding Nemo.
how's that?
Because Nemo literally means no one when it's translated, and
Something like that.
It implies that basically Marlin is in the search for no one because his entire family was actually killed, and he has PTSD.
And he's going
And the
around with a fish with no memory.
And so she's the perfect companion for him because she'd be helping him look for somebody that doesn't exist.
Explain the sequel.
Yeah.
Explain the sequel.
I'd
Explain
say,
the sequel,
I'd say
dog.
that is a good theory, but the sequel does seal that off.
The sequel
Well, no,
kind of,
the sequel seals off the story for Dory, but it doesn't do any justice for Nemo. Nemo could entirely. He has so little impact in that movie. He could still entirely just be an entity in Marlin's mind. Like he literally has zero impact in that movie.
Mhm.
He is a side character. He totally could be just a figment of his imagination.
I mean, the man saw
Well,
his whole family die.
I'm gonna
probably.
rewatch Finding Dory with Ellie because she loves that movie, and I'm gonna rewatch it and see if there's any characters that are next to Nemo at the time, and see if they react to him in any way. Because if they don't react to him, then fuck, maybe there's something here. Because Pixar's known to do that.
Yeah, they're good.
They do little things like that in all of their movies that connect it.
Because Nemo touches the boat in the first movie, and they're like, he touched the boat.
That is true. All of the class. Yeah, all of the class.
Marlin's the predator.
Unless
something happens after that.
Unless he was totally by himself and Mr. Ray doesn't exist, or he does exist, but he went there when Mr. Ray wasn't there, and he was just imagining the class, kinda. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like, because it could be a complete break from the point that he finds everybody dead.
That's wild. I never thought about that movie that way.
I don't want to think about sad Nemo, guys.
Bro, it's fucking movie about fish finding fish, dude.
Yeah, it's a fish movie.
Let's be real. The movie's called Finding Nemo,
Nemo's
but
mom
still
was
in
a
the first
hottie.
movie.
Damn
Well,
son.
I just wanted to talk.
No,
okay?
we're gonna stop talking about what this video is getting posted. You're gonna regret that you said that
Why?
because I'm fucking clipping it.
Oh, but you were talking at the same time.
No, I stopped
At least
talking.
you
It was very clear when you
Everybody
said
be quiet.
Nemo's mom's a hottie.
Nemo's mom is a hottie.
There you go.
Thank you.
At least he wants the fish
That's a
fish
sound clip.
gussy and not the fish dick.
Bussy.
I'm gonna set my mic down.
Those Gillissies.
Fucking
Those
God.
fucking glissies, dude.
You think Kanye West likes gay fish because he just wants to stick it in their gills? Like,
Dude, I have to type the word glissy now because of you.
Glissy? Oh,
it's just like
yeah,
glizzy, but with S's.
yeah. Bro, do the gritty after gritty.
We went
some
really off
glissy?
topic from what we were talking about. We were talking about nostalgic
Nemo, bro.
movies.
Yeah.
guys.
How do we get
Lion King.
Okay,
Lion
back
King
to Lion
or Star
King.
Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, because either one of those movies was literally in my VCR, just continually playing while I was gaming on PC.
I feel that. Phantom
Cyrus
Menace was
just
the
like-
only VCR Star Wars that I had. I'm diverting. Episode 1 was the only one I had on VCR, and
fucking amazing.
I feel that.
Yep,
It was
same.
amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like I
We-
would put it in the VCR and I would let it play. I would let it play all the way through the credits, auto rewind back to the beginning, and play it again.
You know what? This is. Everyone said their movies. This is actually kind of good segue. Because Colton, when I was a kid, one time when we went up there, we went through. I don't remember if we actually watched all the Star Wars movies in order, but we at least watched the older ones, and it was like one of the first times that I had ever seen them. And I remember when up in your room, you had all the Star Wars movies up there next to them, and next to it was Saving Private Ryan. And I was
Yep.
always intrigued by it because my dad always played World War II games, and I was always fucking interested about World War II and shit. But obviously, my dad was smart, and he never let me fucking watch Saving Private Ryan until I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Such a good movie.
such a good movie.
That movie is probably in my top 2 of my favorite movies of all time. And especially like when you watch it over and over and see the little details that are added into it that are just like not the like it shows the gruesomeness of war, like obviously like men getting blown to fucking bits and whatnot. But do you guys know that scene after they first capture the beach and then they're clearing out all the bunkers and the shit all over that? There's 2 German soldiers that go up with their hands and they're surrendering and shit, and then they shoot them, and they're like, "What'd he say? What'd he say? Oh, I watched for supper," and like that. If you actually watch the movie and pay attention to it, they're speaking Czechoslovakian. They were Czechoslovakian soldiers forced into the fold of the German fighting. And they didn't
Damn.
fire a bullet at all, and they were saying, "We're Czech, we're not German, we're not Nazis," and they shot him. And if you've watched Band of Brothers, there's a similar scene where they're walking through all the prisoners, and they're just talking shit to all the Germans, and there's one in the German outfit, and he just talks straight American to him in an American accent. He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. All the family came back because of the call to the motherland, and here I am now." And they give him a cigarette, and they walk away, and then you hear gunfire. He's like, "Oh, fuck, they killed him because he's in the German outfit." Like, that war was fucking horrible.
It was brutal,
And-
man. That's why they needed to do the Geneva Conventions to fucking like set people straight. Like,
Yeah, like-
what the fuck is going on?
Stop fucking killing each other.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. And like just fucking
Yeah, but the Geneva Convention also made, white phosphorus illegal.
That was probably a good thing.
that's probably a good thing.
It's
Yeah.
actually quite
What's-
good on toast.
What's white phosphorus?
So remember in
Why is it on toast?
you remember
It was on Rainbow Six.
and in
Modern Warfare.
Modern
was a
Warfare,
kill
yeah,
streak.
it was called in all that white smoke and it burned them.
Geneva
You remember
Conventions are
Fury?
kill streaks, bro.
You remember in Fury that scene when they rolled into the town and there was that or anti-tank gun in the fucking building and they were like, "Pop some Willie Pete's at him." The Willie Pete's were white phosphorus grenades and it was literally smoke that burned whatever it fucking got attached to, and they just walked out and it was just little fucking like bits of thermite burning into the
Do you know
people.
why
Damn.
white phosphorus is so dangerous?
It burned. I'm assuming it burned.
You can't put it out.
You can't put it out because it ignites with oxygen.
Yeah,
So you could cover it
but it's just gonna
and smother it, but the moment you uncover it, it lights back on fire.
and if
Oh
it's
my
on your
God.
skin,
it's
it's
stuck.
going to use the oxygen in your body and
Yeah.
it's just going to keep burning through that because any oxygen that's there, it's going to use it and
ignites.
burn it, and it's going to use all that fuel while they've got
It's
stuff there.
banned
Damn.
because it's
And you breathe it in,
If
and
you
it gets
breathe it
into
in-
your
if it goes
lungs,
into your
and
lungs, yeah, exactly. Then your lungs literally start burning from the inside, and there's nothing that can stop the chemical reaction
yeah.
unless you
It's
literally inhale like carbon monoxide to get rid of all
banned for a
oxygen.
reason.
Like,
It's terrible.
it's nasty.
Wow.
Nasty.
That's
All right.
fucking
Well,
weird to
I'm
think
glad.
about.
I mean, it sucks that it happened. I'm glad I wasn't in that time frame alive, because I don't think I would have, like, I don't know, I wouldn't survived long in that environment.
I don't think they did. With that being said,
Yeah.
right? I mean, how do you recover from those kind of injuries?
Being an American, knowing that I was born on American soil, I'd feel like my chances were better. But still, the Germans did fucking god awful things next to it too, and the Japanese even next to that. Like any side of the war, it was fucking
A lot of nations did a really lot of awful things
yeah.
because everyone likes to believe they're right.
And
Yeah.
and especially when there's
Nobody ever wants.
when there's one country occupying an entire continent, you especially feel like you have the right to exercise your military tests. Like
My 10th grade teacher said something, and he's like, "Guys, we're not gonna argue about this," but he's like, "I know this is wrong." He's like, "I know it's wrong, but I'm saying it because I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna, here's a thought." And he was kind of tiptoeing around, and then he just said it. He's all like, "Hitler never thought he was the bad guy. Nobody ever wants to think they're the bad guy." That's why villains in movies are kind of unbelievable because they're like, I'm the bad guy, yeah. Nobody ever wants to be the bad guy. People do things because they think they're right.
it's like the whole
They
plot of
think
modern warfare.
they're correct.
It's history's written by the victor. It doesn't matter who's more evil. It's whoever fucking wins is gonna say what the story actually happened.
It's insane.
In terms of World War II, World War I was kind of fucked because Germany did get fucked over. They were not the causing spark of that war, but they took all the blame for it. And so understandably, Germans' hatred going into World War II was there, and that was their flame for it. However, with the entire world looking at one nation occupying a whole fucking continent and breaking treaties left and right, it was something to be fucking dealt with any means necessary.
Right.
Because they would not give up anything. And even it was when they got to Germany, Hitler gave the order of total war. It was every single man, woman, and child was fucking mobilized to fight for the war. And if they weren't fighting and resisted, they were killed as a traitor.
Yeah.
Like it was
You're not helping the country
because you
in their war
weren't
effort.
because the fucking hell was coming. And if you're not fighting till you die to stop it for Hitler, then you're a traitor and you might as well die on the ground where you stand.
So you're
Because
caught between a rock and a hard place where you're like, I can't get out. There's nothing I can do. I have to fight or I will die.
you either fight an unstoppable force or just die by your own leader. And it was, yeah.
It's fucked.
Some people
fucking
didn't
crazy.
want to fight for for Hitler, so they were killed. And you have to wonder if that was a more honorable death than going out there and being a scared soldier fighting against what Brandon would say an unstoppable force that was coming at you.
Exactly. It's kind of like how in the arguments that they had when they were talking about should we or should not have used the bomb when they taught us it in high school. It's like that's a lot where that argument came from because they took Germany and it was every last man, woman, and child until they stopped fucking shooting and this treaty was signed. And then they looked at the exact same thing on Japan, and they were a country that had fucking millennia back known to never surrender at any point.
Japan
if they took it
wasn't
to
gonna
Tokyo,
surrender.
every single Japanese person would have died in that war. Every single and any single civilian that wasn't like taken into Allied custody and protection like that was fighting for that would have died to Tokyo.
They said one of the final points was they had to think about how many lives would have been lost in Japan if they had continued the war without the bombs.
They destroyed 2 cities fucking horribly.
But they didn't destroy the country.
But
They didn't destroy the biggest city,
if
though.
if they had done a land invasion like they did on France to Japan, it would have been 10 times larger than the invasion of Normandy was, and that was the largest invasion in human history. Like,
I mean, they called our bluff, and then we proved them wrong.
Well, Japan straight up said they would never
They would
invade
never.
the mainland of the U.S. because there would be a weapon behind every blade of grass.
yep,
Adventures.
because of Second Amendment. And if you think the Second Amendment is wrong, I don't get into politics, but no, the Second Amendment is fucking solid.
The Second Amendment is there to defend us from both our government and foreign governments if they ever try to take too much power.
Yeah,
And the
step up,
problem is
Canada.
we
Step up, Canada. We're
the problem
looking.
is we have
The high
a struggle
mighty.
for power going on now, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Yeah, and in my personal belief, every single civilian, if they have the finances to do it, they absolutely should be able to buy a fucking attack jet or F-18 if they have the finances for it.
No
Okay.
licenses.
Billion,
No licenses.
obviously,
Get
you
a
have,
yeah.
obviously you have to have licenses, for background checks, and licenses,
Minimum.
and firearm checks, for all that. But it is a vehicle, and you're simply allowed to put a gun on it.
Yeah.
I know people that I don't know people, but I know of people like fucking celebrities and shit that buy Ferraris and put gun racks on them. There's no reason why a civilian can't buy a fucking jet and put a
Let me
fucking
drive the
50
damn
cal
jet.
on it.
Yeah, the Prince of Dubai does that.
You
Why
ready?
can't I?
I'm gonna play contrarian. Most Twitch streamers wouldn't pass a background check. They have green.
They honestly wouldn't.
People could put whatever they want in the backgrounds, and they have no control over it. All right, lame joke. I'm out. See you
No,
guys later.
That's good though.
I mean, it's accurate. That's why.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a
Brandon, Brandon.
what?
People live in apartments. Where are they putting their jets? Huh? Come on.
I did say if you
What's
could
the
afford it and
infrastructure?
had the means for
In the
it.
public storage.
But
obviously.
I was in your guys' shields last week, and there was a fucking M249 inside for sale for 10 grand.
There was like for the longest time there was that fucking 50 cal Barrett sitting on the top shelf that anyone, if there was a 10-person group of strong people, they could have grabbed that gun and fucking ran out the building with it. Like
Stealing that
looks
would be a
incredible.
monumental task.
Yeah.
But
the fucking FBI would be on you in 10 minutes, but
'Cause,
they
yeah.
could have grabbed it because I'm just saying it was wild that they had it on display right there. Like anyone could grab it and just look at it and be like, oh, it's fucking heavy.
Well, it's probably never gonna be on display ever again. Thanks, Brandon.
Way to go, Brandon.
well, like
Well,
you
if it
just,
goes
like you
missing,
just
we're
said,
getting
they had an
people here.
M249. If they didn't have the 50 cal out, they've probably been cycling whatever the fucking
The
crazy military shit
M249 was
that-
inside of a glass case. There was no way you were getting out of there with that thing in your hands without
Okay,
buying
it was in
it.
the case with all. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, like to the right of that case where all those military rifles used to be, they just had the fucking sniper rifle sitting there. It's like, really? They just
Yeah.
here? Like people are gonna hunt with that? That's what you think they're gonna do that
sure.
for? Like
Absolutely.
fucking with the 50.
I'm gonna go hunt a bear with a Barrett.
BRB.
As long as
Be
you
right
don't
back,
want to
see you
make a
later.
rug out of it, I mean, you're fine.
Oh, there ain't gonna be much
Well, I
of a
mean-
rug left.
That's
That
what I'm
bear.
saying.
You can still make a rug out of it. Just shoot it in the head.
That's
No, the head is part of the rug.
Purpose.
You could still make a rug with the arms and legs and the body.
You can make a down comforter with it. You could you take
Yeah.
if you blow the head off, you just take the rest of the pelt, tie a nice piece of silk or sew a nice piece of silk to the bottom with some.
Make a
down.
quilt out of
There you
it.
go. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fuck.
You don't have a primitive mind. like
Yeah,
us.
I guess I don't.
This was a gaming podcast.
Hey, speaking of games.
Hey,
quick.
yeah.
Yeah, let's just
This
games.
is a gaming podcast that we talk about sports a lot too
Talk
and
about
music.
money.
How
And
far are we in?
Music.
we don't really talk about music
know,
or
it's-
gaming
Oh,
as much as we could.
Well, let me
Let's
tell you
talk
this.
about gaming.
Let me ask you this. Pose this question to you fellas then. What in terms of guns, which is better, Call of Duty or Battlefield?
Battlefield.
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 Has a
For
very good selection.
accuracy,
Just like the game, like gunplay rather.
Okay, for variety. Okay,
No, not
variety.
right, like how the
Okay.
how the guns feel. When
Call of
you're-
Duty.
Call of
For-
Duty.
okay,
For
for sheer
realism or
just
fun?
gunfire, like just slaughter fest fun, Call of Duty.
Yes.
If you want accurate guns and semi-accurate mechanics, Battlefield.
Yeah.
I pick Call of Duty because since there's less guns in the game, they're able to fine tune and make animations more concise and nice.
I mean, those
for-
fucking-
Well, and
The
they-
animations are better in Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yes.
because there's
And a
not
lot
as
of the
many
Call
guns.
of Duty games, there's no actual bullet ballistic mechanics other than in sniper rifles and shit like that.
Mhm.
There is slightly in the newer games.
In Modern Warfare 2019, there's ballistics.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
there, but it's not to the scale that Battlefield is. Battlefield.
Well, they had to build it for Warzone, and Warzone is ballistics.
exactly. Yeah.
they run on the same engine, but up until that point, it was basically a hit scan where they took the center of the screen if you were aiming down sights, and they were like, "Is it aimed at somebody?"
Yeah, exactly.
And that was
if
how they
if
did
it's
hit
on a
detection.
hitbox. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, and then when you would hip fire, it would be anything in that crosshair. That's why I hated people that bought those hip shot dots. Do you remember those stupid YouTube advertisements for hip shot dots?
Yeah.
That big fucking line that you
Like,
would
you put it in
suction
the
cup into
screen?
your TV.
Oh my god.
Like people thought it made them.
Monitors have them built in now.
Yeah, people thought it made them no scope better, and it's like no, it still hits anywhere in that crosshair. It doesn't hit dead center. That's not the point.
Right.
It's just that
just
area.
so that
Couldn't
they have
explain
a
to people.
point of reference though on their screen on where to put their reticle.
It was
So
only
that way they have a better chance of getting a hit.
It has more use for hardcore games like Battlefield or Armor or
Mm.
something where you don't have a reticle and you need to know where the center
It
of your
helps
screen's
you
at,
guide yourself.
where you know where you're
And
aiming
it's
at.
the
so you
same as
can't
playing
aim
like
down sight.
hardcore on
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
It's
Exactly, yeah.
arguably the best for Gears of War if you're trying to rodeo around
Exactly,
with the Gnasher,
yeah.
know where you're hit
Yep.
firing. That's it. That's what I would claim is useful.
Okay.
Other than that,
What about the guns in Gears of War compared to the other two?
Call of
Gears
Duty
guns
still.
and Gears of
Not
War are
even-
not real, and it's not
Well,
a good comparison.
Okay,
neither
fair.
are some Call of Duty guns.
Exactly.
Well, the gunplay is
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's
pretty
completely
animated,
different.
too,
Yeah.
The
if you
gunplay
think about it.
in Gears of War is terrible. Because
Yeah,
if you play
just like,
online, everybody's using the shotgun.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't use anything
Everyone's
else.
throwing smoke grenades and frag grenades into the smoke, and then they run through with a Gnasher and just circle around the map over and over.
And then you have the no-lifers that are really good with the bull talk, and they just sit there and pop headshots.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they find the weapon maps, and
talking
then
about?
they use all the ammo in those and hit every single shot with them.
Some people are so good at Gears, it makes it so not fun to play. Because they're so good at playing a specific play style, and it feels like that's the only play style that you can play. In a game like Battlefield and Call of Duty, you can adapt different strategies, but in Gears of War, it's like, can you shoot the shotgun better than the other person?
But
No,
isn't this-
then you
but-
can't win.
Isn't the same thing with Call of Duty? Can you shoot your gun faster than the other guy?
Well, at least maps that have 3 lanes, you can choose when you want to poke your head in and out, how you want to pop
Yeah.
around a
They've,
corner.
they've
can you throw
added corner
grenades?
peeking and
Yeah.
mounting and all that kind of
But in
stuff.
Gears of War, if somebody is like, if they've already grabbed the map grenade and their whole team is hiding behind a wall, you have 2 choices. You get close enough to the wall and you pop a smoke grenade so they can't see you and you hope they don't accidentally blind fire you. Or 2, you hope you get lucky and they miss. Because any
boy.
chance that you have it walking up against a wall that somebody's hiding behind and you don't have a grenade, you're going to lose that battle. And if you stand there, you're not going to kill them because they're hiding behind the wall, and none of your guns are going to do anything if they poke their head out. Because a Lancer takes, I think it's 18 shots to put somebody down.
And they can
Jesus.
blind
Yeah.
fire over the wall.
Yeah, that's why. So if you get close to the wall, if somebody knows what they're doing, they're going to blind fire you around the wall. Gears of War Online is basically, can you use the Gnasher and can you hit your shots consistently?
Gnasher game. Gnasher game 5.
Yeah, Gnasher of War. It would still be
Gnasher of
GOW.
Nice.
And now it's Gears. It's not even Gears of War
Yeah.
anymore. So it's just Gnasher 5.
What are some other like
Nash
FPS shooters that are like slightly
NASCAR.
different like that?
Say what?
What are some other FPS shooter games that are like slightly different but have some of the same core mechanics? That like where everyone like goes back and keeps playing. I'm gonna say Destiny,
Battlefront.
Battlefront,
Yeah, it's different.
but they also have the limited weapons just like Call of Duty. But how is
That's
that?
true.
How's that gonna play? Well, I don't know if you guys have played Battlefront. Me and
No
Colton
recoil
have.
makes it pretty dope.
Yeah.
The unlimited ammo as well.
Laser gun shouldn't have recoil.
Yeah, because it's energy, man. It's
Well, I
just
mean,
fire.
Well, it's energy, but if it has enough force to go that way really fast, then it's Newton's law. It's
Yeah, but it's light.
Yeah, get fucked.
yeah, but it's equal and opposite
Gravity?
reaction.
There.
still
So
light,
the
but
way
it's
I've
shooting
seen
out of a
it
barrel.
described, though, is most of the weapons from the Star Wars universe actually have a projectile-based system
Okay.
where they have like a cell that you put into them that then depletes as you fire the weapon.
I can vibe with that.
So the recoil is the energy pulse discharging from the weapon, causing it to recoil, or even the exhaust venting from cooling the weapon down after every shot.
It's probably like a kyber crystal core or whatever it is that makes lightsabers and they're all that regular whatever.
Plasma,
Star Wars,
whatever.
Yeah.
Energy, man.
They take the kyber crystals to make the fucking zoom lights.
Yeah, they're not like just a magic infinite ammo gun kind of thing like the games and the movies kind of make them out to be. Most of them actually have charge cells or something that you have to do to reload them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. How did I just want to know how they like limit the length of a lightsaber once they put the crystal in? What
Probably-
stops it from going?
It's mirrors.
Mirrors.
Like the Kendrick Lamar song?
Exactly like that. song.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm covering the
Mirrors,
snakes. I'm
short
covering the
and
snakes.
light?
Like,
The crystal itself is basically the focusing thing for the beam of energy that's coming out of the lightsaber. As George Lucas said,
I'll show you a beam
he
of
called it a
energy.
laser sword, but it's closer to a plasma weapon.
crystal meth?
I'll show you my beam.
Oh,
Beam me up, Scotty.
I'm doing an ugly thing for that achievement warboats thing that I'm doing. I don't think I've explained it on the
Bingo?
podcast, but
No, you
I'm
haven't.
signed up with the website called True Achievements, and they've curated a 64 icon grid of Xbox achievements for me to earn, and you play it like the game Battleship. It's dog piss sometimes. um, there's an achievement. It gave me an achievement to catch Fort Sunguard or something like that in Skyrim.
Okay.
And it's for when you're doing the Imperial Stormcloak side quest.
Yep.
That you can complete it after you finish the game, but if you complete the game capturing that one fort, it skips it for some reason. If you beat the game, you can't capture that fort anymore.
Well, it's because if you beat the game, then it ends the war.
Well, you
Yeah.
can still complete the final thing in the so you know how it's a quest line, correct?
Yeah.
And you run through about 10 missions.
Yeah.
There's missions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you complete the game, it only eliminates mission 5, which is the one you need for the achievement. You can still complete 1 through 10, skipping 5 if you beat the game, and you can still join with the Imperials or the Stormcloaks.
If I'm not mistaken, Fort Sunguard, whichever faction that you choose, that's like a it's like a
It's also
it's like you pick these two paths, they go,
Yeah.
and then it crossroads there, and then it
The-
goes back to the end of the game.
Correct.
And that's probably why.
so
it
what
cancels
happens
out
is
there.
it does everything, but it just skips that one. Well, I need the achievement to do that.
That
I
kind of
played
makes
s-
sense because that's the most neutral mission in
Yeah.
the game because it's either going to be this side or it's either going to be this side.
But if you beat
after
the game, you don't get the option to take either of those forts. So you
because
have to just
the
skip
war
to
is
the
over,
end.
so whichever one's winning, it just cancels the mission because that mission doesn't exist anymore in the story. Yeah,
I
that
woke up
makes
at
sense.
8 this morning and restarted Skyrim, and I'm playing through Skyrim just to
Let's
get
go!
to the point in the game
Ye-
so I can nuke that save file when I'm done with it.
Use the game for Windows Live version of it. Toggle map
can't.
markers
It's the
on and then
360.
teleport.
It's the 360 version. I
Oh.
have to play the 360 version. I can't play it on the one because I already have the
it
achievement.
tells you what specific console to play.
Yes, because it uses games that you've already played to
Oh my
grab achievements from.
Fuck.
Games you've played and don't have the
And you don't
achievements
have the
then.
achievements for it. So I don't have that achievement in Skyrim. So I loaded up my save, which is after my 360 save, which I haven't played in 6 years, from after I beat the game.
Just dust it off real quick.
Oh man, yeah. So I pretty much restarted Skyrim this morning, and I blew through it. And I just did Alduin's Wall before I drove over here.
Nice.
all I've
That's
been
a
doing
record
all
time.
morning.
Is that right? Is
And
that
if you're
PB?
lucky,
Is that PB?
I don't know, but if you're lucky enough, I brought gameplay for it on my laptop. You're probably watching it over this video right now. Oh
Yeah, the 349 deal, dude.
hell yeah, he's on that Instagram grind. So that's what I'm doing in gaming, and then I got all the multiplayer achievements in Assassin's Creed Revelations. 'Cause
Yes.
the servers are shutting down next month.
Servers
Yeah.
For what?
I accidentally joined your
Servers-
achievement party.
Yeah, you did. And the guy that was in my party, he had a Linkin Park gamer picture actually.
Bro, didn't
Full
know you
circle.
hang like that.
I didn't know you were chill like that, dude. David.
Crisscross applesauce.
I'm gonna finish
chilling.
my story and I'm done for the night.
Okay.
Anyways, homeboy had every Sea of Thieves achievement. He had all 203, and I thought that was crazy. And then David,
203?
he has all 203 achievements in that game that I don't even want to go for.
That man also had a 1,000,000+ gamer score, did he not?
He had a 1,000,000 gamer score.
Only?
Yeah, just only.
Oh yeah, only.
Dude, I'm about to hit 100,000. I'm at 70,000.
I use the bathroom.
Is that 70,000?
Yeah, I'm at 30,000 away.
70 to 100
30,000
takes so long unless you are grinding for it.
I got it.
Well, Drake does it real quick. He can go 0 to 100.
Dude,
I
just
mean-
fly with me from New York to LA
that.
in Flight Simulator.
Just
You
do
won't
it
get
like Drake.
achievements, But I'll enjoy the company.
Yeah, I have my Xbox running. I'll stream it and I'll be on the PC.
Well, that's how I play it. I stream
That's
it on
hot.
the Xbox. If we launch at the same time at JFK, we should be able to see each other. But if
Oh,
we
you
don't know how
guys
to
will
fly
be
a plane-
synchronized.
Well, if you play Flight
Mm.
Simulator, you're always online with people.
Yeah.
I was playing.
But it
Flight-
doesn't mean you're in the same server.
You typically do when you're close by with each other. Like the last time when
Or I
we-
can
Can't you
join your
join
session.
each other?
we can join each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can even form a squadron, can you not?
I think you can, yeah. Like I was about to say,
Squadron?
I spawned
Fuck yeah.
I spawned in at JFK today, and as I was taking off, I didn't see them, but I was just looking at the map to see where I was turning to go to LA, and fucking on my map it went zoom 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 zoom, just 4 planes going the same direction at like fucking Mach 5 across my mini map, and I was like,
Hello?
God damn, they're already in London. Like,
SR-71's flying in subspace orbit.
it was probably a bunch of people. They were either going hella fast in F-18s or they were in the experimental one that I talked about a few weeks back from Top Gun. Because that one goes,
Space shuttle.
That one goes. It's not a space shuttle. It's like a miniature mock or a miniature SR-71. It's like
Space shuttle.
basically, yeah, but it's not.
Dude,
Space Shuttle Reserve 71.
They added the Pelican to Microsoft Flight Simulator, right?
Yep, and
Yes, they did.
I don't know how to use it.
They should have the Saber spaceship from Reach in there as well.
They should make the Pelican flyable with a controller first.
Yeah. You have a flight stick, dude? What's wrong with you? Right?
Yeah, why don't you have a hard pass set up?
Yeah.
What am I thinking? Playing on Xbox.
How dare I?
They make them for
I had to
those.
take a breather.
Cyrus is back.
Cyrus is back.
Use my own joke against me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I've been just hanging on to that one for a while and waiting to use it.
Letting it cook.
The hanging one.
That door was holding on for a while.
Yeah, the hanging one.
Nobody heard what I said.
Sorry, he did it again.
Yeah, sorry. The VOD on this is crazy.
The what?
I'm just being offensive to be offensive.
Okay.
Don't take
Guys,
me
the
seriously.
sun is still up.
I'm super sober. I'm dangerous as fuck.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss?
I think people are arguably more dangerous when they're sober
Yeah.
because they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I actually have a story of two people who are completely sober. It's kind of weird and
Do you know
kinda
them
grim.
personally, or is
Oh,
it?
does it involve
It's-
premarital
it's a story.
sex?
No, unfortunately, it does not.
Gross.
What's
Continue.
the story?
All right. So I don't know if you guys know. I found about this recently. It was two men in North Hollywood who it was in 1997 decided to rob a bank. However, let's see. They were like armed way more than the police
It
were.
was a Bank of America, and they were wearing full body armor.
Yeah, that full homemade body armor, and they had like AKs with like
What year was it?
1997.
They had drum mags.
97.
Yeah, they have
Okay.
they have drum mags, 100 capacity on their AKs, and they were just lighting up these police officers because they only had revolvers or pistols or 12 gauge shotguns, and the pellets and the calibers would just bounce off their body armor and they wouldn't impact them.
Yeah.
The cops actually went to a gun store that was nearby and got AR-15s from the gun store with armor-piercing rounds.
Dude just on his 9 to 5, a bunch of cops runs. They're like, "Give me your whole fucking stock. That's not
now."
that's not a question. Give it to me."
Yeah.
I'll take your entire stock.
Like 70 plus rounds out of each guy, and the last guy, they didn't even kill him. He shot himself.
All of this, mind you, was happening on live TV.
Yes,
All
it
of this
was.
on live TV. Everyone was
Damn.
watching it go down live.
I remember when it happened.
It was insane.
Damn, that's fucking
Yeah,
wild.
and that was the year I was born too. Like that's wild.
Yeah.
That actually happened twice, but the first time it happened wasn't nearly as crazy.
Yeah.
But there was another robbery that had happened in like 91 or 92 where it was pretty wild like that. But I think it was a string of robberies with lots of gunfire involved. And then this one was the big one with all the body armor and stuff.
Yeah, after that's when the cops started like petitioning for like we need shit.
More
They're
SWAT.
like, we need big
Yeah.
boy weapons.
Their SWAT team had the 12 gauges. That's all they had.
That's
Like to go,
wild.
it was insane, man.
They should have just
Their
300
snipers had the best weapons, and they weren't anything to be like. They weren't anything good.
just 300 that shit. Just get a whole wall of right. The shotguns, and they just go pummel them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
reload
they
at some
would all
point.
just get mowed down with those AKs, though.
Hey, there's 300 of us, and they only have 200 rounds, but they gotta reload. Let's go.
They had numerous drum mags.
They have fast.
Oh, they
mags.
can't reload faster than I can run. I'm quick on my
Bro, the perk?
Like,
yeah, fucking marathon pro.
They had scavenger.
Cops had to run
God
a marathon.
damn.
Pro. If they had commando, they could have lunged.
Oh
Damn.
my god. Gee whiz, this is
Ghost.
that's not the direction I wanted it to go.
those
Sorry,
guys actually
Oscar,
lived
I
and they
wasn't
developed
trying to
Payday.
hijack your story. That
No.
just, I remember all of that shit happening.
Well, yeah, like I said, it happened the year I was born. I recently just found out about this.
Do you guys remember Balloon Boy?
Yes, he was in the attic the whole time.
Do you guys remember Balloon Boy?
Balloon Boy.
Oh, do you remember Balloon Boy, Colton?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it was like probably around 2008.
12. I want to say 12 or 10.
Between 2008 to 2012,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Around there.
It was just all of a sudden in the middle of the day, there was a special news report because there was this family that built they had this giant helium.
Yep.
They had this giant fucking helium balloon, right? And it took off from the ground. And they immediately called 911 saying that their like 5-year-old or something, like a little kid, was inside the balloon the whole time. And the entire time the balloon was in the air, a chopper was following it, and it was fucking televised. And
Yep.
Holy shit.
I remember
I was
that.
sitting there with my dad and brother, like, there's a fucking kid in there. No, yeah, it kind of moved, and then it landed, and then it was like, turns out they don't find. There's no boy inside the balloon, and they're going back to the house now. And like the next day, they found the kid hiding in the attic. It was a completely fucking hoax by the family.
Yeah.
They hid the kid
Yeah.
in the attic,
Camera.
lit up a big helium balloon, and set it off, and called 911 and said their kid was
It's
in
a
it.
weather balloon.
Yeah.
Just
It looked like
famous.
a giant fucking UFO or something, but they filled it up with helium, unleashed it, and it just fucking flew across like 2 or
And they
3
went,
states.
When
Probably
you
not
said
2 or 3
balloon boy,
states,
I
but-
was assuming like an actual like TV show or something. I'd completely forgotten about that incident.
Did you know
No, I
they
meant
were-
the hoax. Yeah.
Did you know that the family was pardoned like 2 years ago?
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
that's bullshit.
Well,
Fuck
The
them.
punishment, according to this, because I looked it up, because I was like, I think
That's
I got
child abuse.
It
If
says
you ask me,
on
fuck,
November
they put a
13,
kid in the attic
2009,
to do
Richard
that.
Heaney pleaded guilty to attempting to influence a public servant. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail in order to pay $36,000 in restitution, and Mayumi Heaney
Bullshit.
was sentenced to 20 days of weekend jail. Following the incident, the Heaney family has maintained their innocence,
Weekend jail.
claiming they were pressured into a guilty plea under the threat of Mayumi Heaney's deportation. On December 23rd,
Fucking
happy
shit.
birthday. The Heaneys, or in 2020, the Heaneys were pardoned by Governor Jared Polis. He's the governor of Colorado.
No one was
Fucking
hurt,
weekend jail.
and
Damn
it
it.
was at most a really fucked felony.
Mhm.
But still, every single person that was over the age of 18 that knew what was going on, it just had to have some jail time.
Have you
That's
ever known-
bullshit that he just took the plea and took the whole fall for it.
I had a coworker
That's
that did
bullshit.
weekend jail. It was weird.
That's just such an
I
odd
just remember him.
concept.
He's like, yeah, he would always go up to my boss and go, "Can I get the day off early? I gotta go to jail."
I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry.
Like, if I were to put Ellie in a room and lock her there and then call the police and say they drove away in a car like that and they matched it and started driving away on that, and anyone that knew about it and they conspiracized with it, that'd be fucking jail time. It's like, obviously it wasn't a kidnapping or shit like that, but motherfuck, you put your kid in a balloon and it went into the fucking stratosphere, like...
How did it get in the balloon?
No, their excuse was they were launching the weather balloon and the kid got inside of it as it took off.
Still fucking kid negligence. I'm the parent here, sorry. That's fucking...
Yeah, way to be a dad, dude.
I'm what? That's fucking crazy,
What is it with
dude.
the dad and you?
I don't know, dude. It's
You're
like,
like Brian
take,
in that one
take care of your
episode of
fucking
Family
kids.
Dog.
Don't exploit them. Jesus Christ.
Barndor for
I can't
governor.
even. Oh my god! I just couldn't even imagine.
Let's
my
go,
God.
Barndor.
Derek was in that car.
Big
Oh my
Yoshi's a
god!
dad. What do you think, Big Yosh?
We don't talk to him. We don't talk to him.
Let's go Barndor.
Let's go, Barndor.
Yeah, we can't say that around here.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't
Who's
know anybody
Barndor?
named Brandon.
Who's Brandon?
You.
Barndor.
Barn Don.
Let's go,
Wait, who
Barndor.
am I not then? Wait,
You're not God.
who am I?
You're not Barndor.
Who am I?
Okay, we're having
Am I
an
a man? Am I a muppet?
existential
Existential crisis.
existential
That's
crisis.
when you don't get extra tendies with your Cane's 4-piece box.
Oh my fucking god!
Does that cover it?
World is ending.
What time are we at?
In
We're at
like an
121.
hour 17,
Hour 21.
hour 18.
So minus 5 minutes. No,
About
4.5.
55.
Brandon's fucking with the effects.
What do you mean? Don't tip me. Don't tip me.
Do it.
The
Do it.
body
Do it right
sign.
at the end of the podcast. We're just gonna get a little funky, right? Just a little funky.
Just take your phone.
Oh my god!
Live from New. Oh, it's just not me.
Whoa, Brandon's clipping to the couch. Ah, so am I.
Wait, guys, it's just me.
Huh? Oh my god!
Yo, the back door is nice, though.
Live from New York, it's Saturday nights.
That's 2 for your mistakes.
Oh, shit.
Hold my nuggets.
Holy shit!
Your soul is mine.
No, Colton doesn't have the effects. He's so normal.
Why?
This is
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Listen to my SoundCloud, bro. You won't
Check
regret
out the
it.
link tree.
Let me hit your jewel.
Hey, bro, please let me hit your jewel, bro.
I need to get nicked up, bro.
Thank you for listening.
It's like a Pink Floyd outro. Help me.
You're running out of time.
Subscribe.
All right. We're gonna end it there. Check us out next week.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye. Linktree. Beat of the week.
Got it.